I'm sick of debates. Everybody knows that politics is just a bunch of fancy words we put around emotional truths that are predisposed within us by biology and upbringing. We're not gonna budge an inch on how we're biologically coded to act just because someone brought up some stats in a debate. Logic has no place in politics. Politics isn't about reason, it's about the tribe and emotion. So drop the debates and let's return to basics. Just have the candidates fight to the death. All this democracy malarkey is just layers of separation between you and the primal desire to follow whoever's biggest and strongest. In liberal democracies, we don't seem to have a lot of leaders that the populace really likes, and the reason for that is because we as civilians haven't seen our leader tear off a man's head with their bare hands in front of a crowd of cheering support. And I think I speak for all of us when I say I will blindly support whoever shows the greatest display of strength. Now, if you're thinking all of this sounds a little bit tribal, yes. In tribes, you would have a leader that just dictates what's right and what's wrong. Everyone would just agree with the leader, because if they didn't, they would die. Then another person would come along with a big rock and kill the old leader and become the new leader, and then they would redefine what is right and wrong, and everyone would just go with that, because if they didn't go with that, they would die. All I'm saying is we do the same thing, but for countries. Instead of bickering about who should have won an election and then making a new campaign to fight them again in 4 years, the loser's spine would just be lying on the ground, everyone would accept that they're dead, and they just move on. I'm not kidding, by the way. There's no satire here. I genuinely think this would solve some problems. Under this system, we wouldn't have had Hillary Clinton as the Democratic nominee in 2016, because in 2008, Barack Obama would have ripped out her throat with his teeth. True peace can only be achieved once the opposition is in literal pieces. Liz Warren doesn't like something Bernie Sanders said about her not being able to be president, just have them duke it out in the ring. If Liz Warren wins, then Bernie Sanders is a misogynist, because that's what Liz Warren says. And if Bernie Sanders wins, then he proves that he's a champion of equal rights by killing a woman publicly. Heck, he could even just claim he's a misogynist after the fight's done. It wouldn't matter at that point, everyone would just go with it. Listen, I'll solve Venezuela for you in like 10 seconds. Take Guido, take Maduro, strip them naked, put them in a ring, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. And let's talk about how profitable it would be. You see how many views that UFC stuff gets? Imagine it was world leaders and it was to the death. I want to see Joe Rogan talk about their fighting form and their policy positions as they're killing each other. Now sure, this is an ageist system. Obviously the younger candidates would be more fit and probably defeat the older candidates, but then maybe we would have people under 100 years old running as world leaders, wondering which of these two are gonna die of a heart attack first. I don't know what's right and wrong anymore. My sense of truth has degraded to the point that the only thing that really gets to me is seeing raw displays of strength and violence. The fact that some people can hold on to a coherent framework, a coherent way of viewing the world in a distorted and warped reality that's degraded my point of view into nothing, means that I am now susceptible to blindly following anybody who has a big display of strength. This lack of morality means that I can't think of a better leader than one whose strength of will matches their ability to brutally beat someone to death on live television. We can only hope. There's gonna be a blood stain on this bone now.